Okay, so I'm making a video. I think I'll do a Lenormand reading. Um, I have this app on Android, and well, it's good for it. It just makes it easy for me to do a Lenormand reading. So, um,
Concentrate on your question. When it's clear in your mind, enter it into the text box.
so I want to do yeah, I want to do a reading for Linda from Linda likes tarot. Um, yeah. So I like the grand tableau.
You can shuffle as long as you like. When you feel ready, press the blue star. Tap on the piles in your preferred order.
Okay.
Tap on the deck to place each card.
Wait. Yeah. Okay. So, um, I haven't actually been doing Lenormand readings for very long, so I'm still learning them. Um,
Contemplating the images can help you find the best possible outcome.
yeah. Okay. So the first thing I notice is the bouquet is where the key is. Hang on. Where's the Hmm. Okay. Hang on a second. If I go back to settings, um, I just want to change the settings quickly. So, um, just to make it a bit easier. Um, yeah, I think that's what I want. Um, journal? Oh, wait. Yeah. Why has it done that? It shows it twice. Oh, okay. What's, oh, all right. So bouquet. Yeah, this is what I want. Okay. So, where am I putting my face? Okay, so we've got the bouquet, and that's connected with the key. Joy, gifts, acceptance, friendship, beauty, and invitation, kindness. Yeah. Um, so there's the woman, and in her line, she has ship, tree, child, and bouquet. And yeah, okay. And then there's the heart and the sun, and there's the moon and the crossroads. Um, okay. Yeah. Okay. So she is on the tower. Okay. So she's the 19th card. So if I go look at where's the tower? Or actually, well, um, yeah, where is the tower? Okay, so the tower's down here. The moon. And the moon is here. The man. And the man. Yeah. Okay. And in his line, he's got the key, the coffin, and the tower. Um, yeah. So behind him is the house, the mountain. I mean, the interesting thing about um this deck, well, the house number I live at is house number 12. And the mountain is number 21. So it's the reverse of my house number. Um, and number 12 in this deck is the birds. Um, I was actually born in Aberdeen. 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 Yeah, that's where I was born in Scotland. It's where most of my family comes from. Um, yeah. Excuse me 1 second. So, yeah, so in front of the woman, there's the garden, social encounters, meetings, groups, networking parties, bringing things out in the open, events. Yeah. Um, well, I just wanted to have a quick look at a reading. Um, what do I really want to say about it? Well, I was thinking about this. I was thinking because I wanted to make a video. Um, and basically, I have to. Was I gonna? Okay, let me just interpret the reading. Okay, so after the garden, there's the cross. Burden, destiny, pain, responsibility, fate, suffering, religion. Well, obviously, the cross can be interpreted in different ways. Um, what number was that on then? The mountain. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, the mountain. So that's the thing. My uncle in law, he lives at a house in South Wales. And his house number is 21. He lives with my aunt, Christine Neal. See, the thing is that, uh, and so if you're looking at my Facebook page, you'll understand why the cards are coming up this way. I mean, perhaps I think that's probably why. It's one of the reasons why the cards are showing this way. Um, because that's the thing. When I post on Facebook, it changes how the cards will um come out in a way that is they'll change because of my Facebook page. What I'm posting on Facebook. Obviously, yeah, there's the tower card, um, which is connected with the woman card. So under the woman, there's the child, and then there's the letter. Okay, so there's the letter card. Where's the letter card? Um, Letter. The sun. Okay. The sun. And that's connected with the tree. And obviously tree is number 5, which is associated with in tarot, it's associated with the Hierophant and Taurus. Um yeah. And that tree is associated with the whip. Um and then there's the disagreement. Yeah, so the whip is associated with disagreement, and arguments. Um, I mean, obviously, it could mean other things, but I think in this case, this is basically just saying that I have a problem with my family tree, and if you look at my Facebook page, well, you can see that there's a picture of my uncle-in-law, Donald, and I put Linda's video after that. So, what she was talking about, what she was describing, what the messages were about, it's about my family. It's about the fact that my biological family are my enemies. Um, so, the thing is, when I was born, I was surrounded by adults in my biological family. Um, and they were building the opposing force. I'm God, and those people were trying to build an army against me. Um, my aunt and uncle, they are not spiritual. They never were. I mean, the last time I spoke to them was a long time ago. It was years ago. Because I keep ignoring them. I haven't spoken to Donald for probably 4 years at least. Um, and the thing is, that side of my family were never religious people, especially my aunt and uncle. Um, they're not spiritual people at all. But strange, this is the thing. The reason why the president of the United States of America is Donald Trump is because of my uncle-in-law. Um, he is, that is a reflection of what they're trying to do to me. They are trying to control the world. Um, and obviously, well, it's an ongoing battle. Um, I had my video that I made a couple of days ago where I got upset and angry. I was doing a card reading. I titled it "I Quit," and I got upset and I got angry. And it was only after that I saw the interview with Donald Trump, where he walked out of his interview. He was unhappy with the interviewer, so he walked out of the interview. So, he's reflecting me, I'm reflecting him, or whatever, but um, whichever way round it is. But really, it's a magic battle between me and him. Um, this is how. Well, this is the thing. When I say I am God, I'm not joking. I really mean it. Um, my uncle-in-law, Donald. I mean, let me tell you. You know, let me explain a few things. So he, um, he always treated me like. Well, this is the thing. When I was a kid, I used to spend a lot of time with his sons, and I would spend a lot of time at their house when I was a young kid. And, I grew up feeling like the spare wheel. I felt like I didn't belong. And, I grew up, my mum was in a lesbian relationship. My family were homophobic. There was a lot of arguing, a lot of shit talking. Obviously, they were saying all kinds of things about me as well. Probably saying things like, "Oh yeah, he probably turned out to be gay when he's older" or something like that. And I had a mom who wanted me to be gay, so people have been attacking me in so many different ways, including my sexuality. Um, and uh, and Donald has, he's a demon. He is only interested in stealing what doesn't belong to him and trying to destroy me in the process. So, yeah. So, obviously I want to interpret these. I want to interpret these cards. Excuse me, one second. So, yeah, obviously, I want to um, make sure I'm interpreting these cards properly. Um, yeah. So this is the thing. Obviously, you know, this is quite an important thing, really, isn't it? Because well, we're talking about Donald Trump. He's considered the most influential by most people. He's considered the most influential, powerful person on planet Earth. Um, so this is the thing. I that power belongs to me. That's my power. I'm supposed to be in charge. Um, and that's the truth. That's it's a very it's a crazy thing to have to talk about, really, isn't it? It's not your everyday conversation, is it? But it's true. It is true. Um, I'm more powerful than him, and the fact is, what I should be doing. Well, I should be considered the most powerful and most influential person on this planet because I am. Um, but people try to do things in the wrong way. Like I'll give you an example. Um, people want to try to manifest with crystals and rituals and stuff like that, and it's like, well, if you want money, if you want success, then what you need is not a crystal. You need Jesus Christ. You need God, and that's me. Okay, trying to use crystals to manifest abundance and stuff like that. Well, that's just doing it in a roundabout way. That's just trying to do it the wrong. It's trying to manifest it without God by using crystals as a substitute for God. You know what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying? Um, and obviously there are other ways. All kinds of things that people do. Um, So, obviously, it, I like how things are going. I feel like, I'm happy that I feel like things are moving in a good direction. Um, yeah, I do. I let me have a look at this reading. So yeah, um, Sagittarius. So yeah, I have a real problem with that zodiac sign, Sagittarius. Obviously, it's associated with the number 14. And you can see on this reading, well, the fox is number 14, and number 7 is the snake. So, yeah, I'm being because my ex-girlfriend, who I was with when I was 24, 20, yeah, when I was 24 years old, 23, 24. Obviously, I'm 38 now. So, it's been 14 years. Obviously, losing 14 years of my life to, because she was, yeah, I mean, she wanted to be a hoe. She wanted to ruin my reputation. She wanted to steal my power. She was, doing all kinds of horrible spell work against me, saying all kinds of bad things about me. And people attacking me, and people ganging up on me. Um, yeah. The snake. Okay, so the snake is so we've got the clover, and the clover, lily. Okay. Luck, windfall, gambling, good fortune, positive outcomes. And lily is associated with the cross. Yeah, the lily card. I mean, this is the interesting thing, right? Because in the Lenormand, the lily is like it says the lily is one of the most complex cards in the Lenormand deck, but is it's often associated with father. But this is the thing. Aaliyah Dana Houghton, the singer who died in the plane crash in 2001, she is Mary. She was the Virgin Mary, the mother of Jesus Christ. And her ghost is here with me at the moment. Okay. And obviously one of her nicknames was Lily. Okay, so Lee or Lily is I mean, this is the thing, so Aliyah, well, I guess you could say she's Lee, and I'm Lily in the sense that she's got her rear end on my face, even though you can't see that because she's a ghost. I know that is very um, strange story. It is, isn't it? It's like, well, who's going to buy that story? But it's true. It is absolutely true. Um, it is what it is. Okay. Obviously, I've explained this in previous videos, and I've been explaining this for years. And people think I'm crazy. Well, I'm simply explaining the truth, even if it does sound completely bizarre and totally crazy. It is actually the truth. So, yeah. Um, yeah. So, um, what else can I say about this reading? Well, got the child there. All right, yeah, I've already looked there. Okay. The ship. What about the ship? Okay, that's where it's supposed to be. Yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. Okay. So there's the man there, and obviously he's got the tower in his line. He has the tower and the coffin. Well, I'm a Scorpio. I'm associated with the death card. Um, I cough a lot because I've been smoking, which I need to quit, obviously. Um, yeah. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this reading, really. Yeah. So, I didn't know if I was going to make another video or not. I feel like, yeah. Well, I need to get on with my life. I really need, I know what I have to do. I know I've got a lot I have to get done. Um, because the thing is, because people have been trying to attack me with so much magic. It means I'm in a house where my aunt is the executor of my mum's will, and this house that I'm in, I can't sign for it because my aunt is using a particular solicitor, which I will not sign with because it's called Ward's Solicitors, and I'm not going to sign that because it's bad magic, and I know she is. I've been told that she has done something that she shouldn't have done, and it has something to do with money. So, she is trying to screw me over, if you know what I'm saying. She is trying to steal from me. She is evil. And I'm simply trying to get things done properly. So this is the thing, they've tried to make this a really horrible battle with me, and they are responsible for keeping me. This is basically what they've done to me is imprison me in this house. And they've got all these people to try to battle with me. Um, got arguments with people who want to compete with me, people who want to fight with me. Um, and it's, obviously this has taken a toll on my health. It's taken a toll, it's wasted my time. It's caused me a lot of emotional pain and misery. Um, and yeah, I mean, what they've done to me is very, very bad. Very, very bad. And I need to get justice. So I need to clean my house. I need to get my laundry done. I need to get my car sorted. I need to sort out my health. I need to quit smoking. I need to do a long list of things. Get my life organized. And, maybe in 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, I should be in a much better position, um, and then I can see where things go. So yeah, I can basically just, yeah, well, I can see what happens. Um, and all I can do is try my best and see where things go. Um, yeah, but yeah, this is this house that I'm in. It's a £300,000 house, and the address of this house is 12 the Avenue. Now, if you put the word the and avenue together, you get the word heaven. T, heaven, UE. So, what they're trying to do to me is they're trying to steal this house from me, because what these demons want is that they want access to heaven. That's basically, they're trying to use, it's a magic, it's, these demons are battling for something that doesn't belong to them. And there's wars happening in the world, obviously, war happening in Israel, Gaza, Russia, Ukraine, um, people fighting about things, food prices going up because I live, I'm constantly getting takeaways. I'm I get deliveries to my house where I'm paying, far more than I would if I actually, if I drove to the supermarket. I would save a lot of money um on what I spend, but because I get it delivered straight to the house. But and I don't worry about how much I pay for it. It's causing, food prices to go up. um I'm causing inflation. I'm causing, all these, the world is, there are all these problems happening, and they could, all these problems would go away if people just gave me what I deserve, and stop trying to block me and stop trying to make me miserable. So, it's this is the situation. Um, there's so many people that want to fight me. Um, and I just want to, I want to live, and I want justice, basically. I kind of wish I could wake up at a nice, living in a nice mansion, a nice garden, have a nice garden, a swimming pool, jacuzzi, somewhere I can enjoy the sunshine and not be annoyed by horrible people. And be surrounded by people I want to be surrounded by. So, and for, people to stop attacking me, stop trying to fight with me, um, and understand that I'm God. That's where I want to find myself. Um, but it's been a battle. It's taken a long time. Um, what more can I say? Yeah. So obviously, I've done this reading about Linda, and I've ended up talking about myself, which is kind of weird. Um, so what do I get about Linda from this? What do I see? What is this? Well, there's child here. Um, well, I think, I'm God and you're my child. So that's how it is. Um, there's the tree. So what's the tree? Health, the body. Yeah, I mean family tree. Yeah, tree. Um, there's the bear there. So what's the bear? So the bear. So that's the thing, right? Because bear is number 15, and 15 is associated with the devil, Capricorn. And Aliyah Dana Houghton, she is a Capricorn. Um, and she's a Virgo moon as well. Um, so the bear is associated with matriarch. Um, and obviously, bear is associated with being naked as well, which is, obviously, it kind of connects very well with the idea of the devil, doesn't it? Being naked and the devil. Um, yeah. And obviously the mice, well, the mice, they're considered, there's this stealing, well, small losses, stress, nagging, anxiety, theft, overspending, and doubt. Pests, leaks. Yeah, okay. And obviously, well, the mice are connected with the woman. So, yeah. Well, in the past, I have, felt like Linda has, I felt like I've been battling with Linda. I feel, Linda, I feel like there's been a battle between me and you, and obviously, I just want that to change. I don't want to keep, I feel like you are changing. Um, yeah, and I feel the same with Paul as well. Um, from Dove and Serpent Tarot, I feel like things are going a lot better. I feel very positive about how things are going. So that's great. Excuse me a second. Yeah. So what I might need to do, I need to disappear for a while. Um, I'm going to be quite busy for the next week at least. So, well, yeah, I need to. I think starting from tomorrow, I'm going to be cleaning and getting my life organized. Um, and yeah, I don't know what I'll be posting. I don't know what videos I'll be making, but I'm gonna have to take. I have to attend to the other things in my life that I have to. Um, but yeah, I will be making videos. I will be posting stuff in the future, but obviously I have to I have to be sensible at the moment because I have a lot to do. Um, and the thing is obviously you have to understand because I've been doing this for so long. I'm very addicted to it. I'm very, very addicted to it. I find that it's very hard to drag myself away from the computer or the tablet or the phone. Um, so I really have to. Um, I don't actually have any earbuds anymore because my last pair broke. And the thing is that people were doing magic against my earbuds, my earphones, um, my headphones, or yeah. Um, so since my last pair broke, I stopped using them, and I haven't had any earphones for um many months. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna buy some. So while I'm cleaning the house, I can listen and just hear what's going on with everybody. So I just don't, just so I don't lose track of what's going on. Um, but yeah, I'll probably do that. And obviously, it keeps me entertained while I'm cleaning the house, because cleaning the house can be hella boring. Um, and yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna have to get to the point where it's like I'm cleaning. I'm gonna have to be busy like 12 hours a day or something because I got so much to do. It's ridiculous. Um. So yeah, and I just want to get it done quickly. I don't want to be clean. I don't want to be. I don't want it to take me 6 months to clean my house. Like, I want to try to get it done soon so I can just get on with my life. And this is the other thing, because my family have kept me trapped like this. How much money have they? Not only have they, my aunt, because she was the executor of my mum's will. Um, you see, my aunt, she seemed to think. What I've heard is that, well, when my mum died, my aunt asked me if she could have £20,000 or 30. It was like 20,000. I think it was about 20,000 or 30,000. But basically, my mum borrowed money from my aunt a long time ago. We're talking like probably like 20 years ago or something. It was a really long time ago. And my mum never paid her back for that. And my mum never had any intention of ever giving her that money. But and they basically they stopped talking about that. And my aunt never brought it up with her ever again. Even during the years when they had they thought they had a good friendship with my mom, and I was getting totally screwed over by the lot of them. I was being completely forgotten about, and they were doing their best to try and ruin my life. Um, and so Christine, my aunt, she wants to, she told me that, she asked me if she could have that money, and I said no. And I said she should have dealt with that. She should have, if she wanted that money, she should have sorted that out with my mum. And I think, there's the possibility that perhaps she didn't like that, and she thought she would just she would just help herself to what she wanted. Um, and she's done this thing with this solicitor, ward solicitors, and she's trying to force me to do that. She's trying to it's all about trying to steal power from me. God. And obviously I'm not going to do something I think is wrong. If I think it's a mistake for me to do that, and that's what I'm being told don't sign for it. So I'm not going to. Obviously, a £300,000 house is on the line, right? Obviously, that's a lot of money. But I won't sign away what is mine. Um, I'm God. My power is a lot more valuable than £300,000. So, yeah, I'm not gonna do something dumb. Um, yeah. So, and this is the thing, in the recent years, my aunt, she got pneumonia. She had to go to hospital because of pneumonia. Um, the thing, she just won't take a hint. She really won't. So yeah, if she ends up dying as a result of her stupidity, well, that's on her. It's very deserved as far as I'm concerned. Um, and the same with my uncle. Yeah. There's people, they try to ruin my finances. They tried to steal from me. They've attacked me in so many ways. They would have left me for dead and stolen everything from me. That's basically all they've been trying to do to me. While trying to pretend that they have no um while pretending like that's not what they're doing. They want to pretend like they're my loving family members who care about me, but the complete opposite is true. They only that is only their disguise. That is their disguise to steal what belongs to me. um yeah. Quite honestly, what they deserve is imprisonment. What they deserve is the worst, really, because how many people. This is the thing. Look at the world. You look what's going on. How many people have died in just like the last 4 or 5 years? Whether it's war or disease or people having problems with poverty. I think all the problems that have happened, right? I mean, what are the who gets the blame for all that? Do you know what I mean? Like who gets the blame for all that? That's a good question, isn't it? It's a very good question. Um, See, they don't care what happens. They don't care. That they are evil, and my aunt and uncle, as an example, they are evil, and they only want to hold on to power. They only want to steal, kill, and destroy, and they don't want to budge an inch. So it really doesn't leave. I've tried my hardest to get them to wake up. I've tried my hardest to get them to listen to me. And I've been telling them the truth about myself for a long time now, and they will not listen. They have no interest whatsoever. There was probably a time when I felt like I could forgive them. Like I could, you know, um, we could try to set things right. We could try to fix things somehow, but now I just don't see how that would ever be possible, because they would literally want to push me to the absolute brink of death. And then yeah, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. I've been telling them longer than anyone else. They've known me my entire life. They've known me for 38 years. So yeah. Um, yeah, I should probably mention. See, Donald Neal, he was Abraham, and his wife Christine, apparently she was Sarah, and that's the Abraham and Sarah that were mentioned in the book of Genesis. That's who they were. Um, and they have two sons. One's called Andrew and one's called Philip. Andrew apparently was King David, mentioned in the Bible. He was the king of Israel. Um, none of them are religious people. They're God haters. And what they try to do is they try to attack my finances. They try to talk. They say horrible things about me. They try to curse my life while trying to steal what belongs to me. And they copy. Andrew, my cousin. For example, when I was trying to make a living trading Bitcoin, they were all saying I would lose my money. They kept saying, "Oh, he's going to lose all his money. He's not going to have any money left. He's going to be in debt and this and that and blah blah blah." But when my cousin Andrew invested money in Bitcoin, they were like, "Oh, good for you, Andrew. Look at you making all that money." And he was copying me. So they were attacking me. They basically made me homeless twice. Um, and yeah, um, yeah. I mean, they made me poor. They made me homeless. They stole from me. They lie about me. They say nasty shit about me. And the evidence speaks for itself. I mean, who is the president of the United States of America? Donald Trump. Yeah. Who's Andrew Tate? Oh, right. Yeah. Andrew Tate. Yeah. Oh, he's a Sagittarius. Oh, yeah. He is, isn't he? Anything else? Um, yeah. I mean, there's also that guy in the UK. There's like this journalist guy. He's called Andrew Neil, and his name is spelled exactly the same as my cousin. And he was actually responsible for the news channel called GB News. GB News. And he was responsible for it launching, but then he left GB News when he had a disagreement with the people at GB News. Um, Yeah, so that's another example. And there's, every time I look at the news or there's some important story going on, there's always some guy called Andy or Andrew. This is Andrew this, Andrew that, Andrew. And not to mention, obviously, there's all these scandals with Prince Andrew. Yeah, you've heard about the Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew scandal. Well, this is how deep it goes, right? I'm God. These people are demons. My biological family. These people are demonic. They're evil. Yeah. Okay. So they might have been biblical characters. These people from the Bible, right? King David, Abraham, Sarah, Isaac. Yeah, Andrew. I think Andrew was Isaac actually as well. Um, and Adam as well. That's what I'm told. Okay, there's some sort of connection. Okay, um, but the fact is that um, they are evil now. They're only interested in stealing from me, and they are the opposing force. They want the war with me. They want to hide me. They want to destroy me. They want to ruin me. They want to steal from me. Um, what they've done is very, very serious, and I have to stop them somehow. I need to put a complete stop to them. Um, how this all works out, how it's going to happen, I don't know. I'm not quite sure how it's going to happen. All I know is that something has to happen. Things will change. Um, and this is the thing. Prince Andrew is involved with. He was involved with Jeffrey Epstein, and obviously Jeffrey Epstein was involved with. Um, he had his island, and it's connected with sex crimes, child abuse. Yeah, so these are very serious things, and it's a very serious problem that needs to be dealt with. So yeah, yeah. Um, what more can I say? You see, the thing about Abraham is that the thing is, there was a time when the Israelites, they would be like, oh, I'm a son of Abraham, and or I'm a son of David, and that was considered, that's how you people used to talk. And so Abraham, that's the thing, a lot of people, they treat Abraham and they treat King David as if they are God. um and they treat me like I am nobody. um and that's why there is this massive war happening, this magic and physical wars. I mean, there's a lot of death and destruction happening while these people ignore the truth, and they continue to hate me. They continue to fight with me. Um, yeah, okay, my aunt might come around my house and knock on my door and ask if I want to go out for a cup of coffee. Yeah, so she can get me to try to convince me to do this and that and sign this paper and sign that paper and blah, 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 with a smile on her face and give me a hug afterwards. But it's all bad intentions. These people have evil intentions. There is no truth in them. They're full of lies, and they are evil. And if they ever realize the truth, it's too late. It's so late in the day, especially for them. They've known me for 38 years, and they've done so much to try to harm me, and they've done so much to try to steal from me. And that's the thing, right? They've been glorified in so many ways. How many people, they like to talk about, oh, Abraham was such a great man, and Sarah was such a great woman, and King David, he was the greatest king of Israel. Blah blah blah. Oh, and he had loads of wives, and oh yeah, and Solomon. Oh yeah, he was very rich. He lived in a very beautiful palace, had thousands of beautiful, he had wives and concubines, and he had it all. Yeah. And God, he asked God for wisdom, and God gave him wisdom, and and he did all this, all these things. So, do you know what I'm saying? Like, And what do they, and how do they treat me now, thousands of years later? How do they treat God? Well, all they want to do is steal what belongs to me. Um, Clearly, you know, their reputation has gone to their heads, right? They have, the reputation that they've had has obviously led them to believe that they're capable of being God or gods. They think that they're capable of taking what belongs to me. So, and that's these people aren't capable of humbling themselves. They're not capable of they are operating out of their egos. Um, so yeah. Um, so hopefully I've explained that well enough. I don't want to make this video too long. I mean, obviously, Linda, I was trying to make this a reading about you. Um, yeah, I do like you, Linda. Um, what happens in the future, well, I don't know. But yeah, I just want to let what the situation is and what I plan to do. Um, yeah. So, my idea is try to get things sorted over the next 6 months. Um, well, quicker than that if possible. 4 months maybe, but 4 months or 6 months, something like that. By the end of the year, 2027, I hope to be in a much better position. And I hope that, well, my what I intend to do is global domination, have lots of money, lots of power. Um, but I don't really want to, I don't really think I want to sit in the White House all day long, telling everyone what to do. That's not really how I wanted to live my life. I kind of want to just, I feel like I deserve a very long holiday. If I want to, if there's someone I can find who would like to do that job, who I think would be good in that position, I will put them there. Um, or, do it some other way, whether, but, obviously, global domination is what I'm meant to do, obviously. I mean, how else would I do it? Um, so yeah. Um, yeah. So, obviously, things should be, there's a lot of interesting things that will happen, and there'll be opportunities to do things. And yeah, and we'll just see where things go. Okay. Um, so yeah, if there's anything else I'd like to, yeah, let me have a quick look at this. Okay. Um, yeah, I don't think there's anything else I need to mention about the reading, but obviously, have a look for yourself, um, see what you think, and I'll leave it there. Okay.